All right, let's be honest. How many times have you just like absent-mindedly grabbed your phone? You don't even know why, you're just scrolling.
Yeah, it's practically a reflex at this point.
Total autopilot. But today we're going deep on something that might help. The idea of a digital detox.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing.
I know, right? But before you think this is just another tech hate fest, stick with us. This isn't about ditching our devices entirely. It's about a healthier relationship with them. Maybe even rediscovering some things we've totally forgotten about.
Absolutely. Finding that balance is key. Technology is amazing. Don't get me wrong. So convenient, keeps us connected. But like anything, too much can be a problem.
Exactly. And that's what's got so many people talking about this digital detox.
It's true. It's not just a buzzword anymore. We're seeing more and more research about how all that screen time, it actually affects our brains, messes with our sleep, cranks up the stress levels.
So, where do we even begin with this whole digital detox thing? Like, what does it even mean? Are we all going off the grid, living in a cabin in the woods?
Well, it definitely doesn't have to be that extreme. A digital detox, it can be anything really, like taking little breaks from your devices or even going totally tech-free for a bit.
So, like, hitting the pause button on our digital lives.
Exactly. And it's about reconnecting, with yourself, with the actual world around you. And you don't even have to go all in right away. Even small changes can make a difference.
Yeah, I was reading one of the studies for this deep dive, and they found that just cutting back on social media, just that alone, made people way less anxious.
Oh, absolutely. Because let's face it, social media is kind of like looking through a highlight reel, right?
Totally. Everyone's always showing off their perfect life, their perfect vacation, their perfect whatever.
Yeah, and it's so easy to fall into that trap of comparison, thinking, oh, my life doesn't measure up.
Right, and then you get that FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Yeah, exactly. But taking a break from all that, it gives you a chance to step back, to appreciate what you have, to focus on your own experiences, your own values.
Okay, that all makes sense, but how do you actually do it? Like, I'm constantly getting notifications, emails, work deadlines. It feels impossible to actually disconnect.
Right. Setting boundaries, it's definitely a challenge, but it's so important. The first step, I think, is just being aware of your habits.
Habits.
Yeah, like how much time are you actually spending on your devices? Are there certain apps that just totally stress you out? Once you know what your triggers are, you can start to make changes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I read about some pretty practical tips in the research, things like setting timers on your apps.
Oh, yeah, timers are great. Or you can turn off all those unnecessary notifications.
Oh, and creating phone-free zones, like the dinner table, no phones allowed.
I love that. It's such a simple way to make sure you're actually connecting with the people around you.
Totally. You know, it's funny that, like, we've forgotten how to relax without a screen in front of our face.
Yeah. It's true, but there are so many other ways to unwind.
Yeah, like reading. I used to love to just get lost in a book.
Oh, me too. Or going for walks in nature.
Taking up a new hobby, something creative.
Exactly. All those things that we used to do for fun before smartphones took over our lives.
Right. And those activities, they're not just fun. They actually have real benefits.
Oh, absolutely. There's tons of research on that now. Spending time in nature, it reduces stress, boosts your mood, can even make you more creative.
And hobbies, whether it's painting, playing music, whatever you're into, it gives you a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, you get that feeling of flow, where you're just totally absorbed in what you're doing.
So I want everyone listening to think back for a minute. What did you love to do before all the screens took over? Maybe it's time to dust off that old guitar or pick up those knitting needles again.
You might even surprise yourself. Maybe you'll discover a hidden talent or a passion you never knew you had.
And who knows, maybe disconnecting from the digital world will help you connect with yourself in a whole new way.
Exactly. It's like hitting the reset button for your mind and body, giving yourself permission to just breathe and be present in the moment.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but going offline, I mean, it can be hard, especially if you're used to being constantly connected.
Totally. It's like anything new, you got to ease yourself in. Consistency is key.
So where do we start?
Well, start small. Maybe try going screen-free for just 30 minutes before bed.
Yeah, that's doable.
And as you get more comfortable, you can gradually increase the time.
It doesn't have to be this all or nothing thing.
Right. Find what works for you. Maybe it's one day a week where you completely unplug. Or maybe it's just setting aside specific times during the day where you put the phone away and do something else.
The key is to create a routine that you can actually stick to.
Exactly. Something sustainable. It shouldn't feel like a punishment.
And remember, this isn't about demonizing technology.
Yeah.
Technology is amazing. It's about using it in a way that serves us, not the other way around.
Right. We get to be in control, not our devices.
So, as you go about your day, we challenge you to think about your relationship with your devices. What small changes can you make to reclaim some of your time and attention?
Here's a final thought for you to consider. Could making this a regular thing, could intentionally incorporating a digital detox actually boost your creativity?
Hmm, interesting. Maybe disconnecting every now and then actually helps us think more deeply. Something to think about, right?
Definitely.
We hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought and maybe even inspired you to try a digital detox for yourself.
Happy unplugging?
Happy unplugging.